What do you think is the key to building a strong community that revolves around common values?
So identifying the values that you share first, and making sure that's aligned. Sometimes we want to believe that we're aligned, and we're not. We need to be honest and explore that vulnerably. Vulnerability is huge, right? Because you can only go so far in any relationship without vulnerability. So by tapping into that, I think you exponentially grow the possibilities.
How do you think that manifests in a business, for example, or when you're creating a community? Like, where is there opportunity to be vulnerable within a community you're building?
Well, I think we live in a society that has not quite promoted sharing the bad. Not just sharing the bad, but sharing the difficulties, the struggles. There's something shameful that we put out there, like it's all supposed to be so easy.
Right.
And I think that with having a safe space to be vulnerable, we actually become more of who we are. I think everything that we can be is kind of within us and around us, and making those connections to what really aligns for us is only accessible when we're willing to drop the shield that we wear. And while the world is tough and it feels sometimes safer to wear that, that veil, I think that there's something really beautiful that happens and opens up in the world when we're willing to feel the good and the bad. So, yeah, I think
so creating that space for both yourself and for your team, for your audience, your community, to be vulnerable themselves, to basically be themselves, good and bad, and then for you to show up and be yourself as a leader, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's also a community recognizes that we're all in it, that if any one of us wasn't, it wouldn't be the same, and that all of us are adding a value. And so it's important in leadership, you hear a great leader leads by example. And I think that vulnerability and that tapping into your truth and leading from this place where you're being all of who you can be in every moment. And there's a great quote of your best will change from time to time, but always do your best. It's written in the 4 Agreements. And I love that book, and I go back to it when I feel off. But I think that we need to remember that and have compassion for each other, and not feel like we have to be this typecast of a person to belong.